What's up, people? It's Rao, and welcome back to Reasoning with Rao. I don't think it's been very long since the last episode or since the last video, but it's been a long time since I've done one of these kinds of videos where I just sit down, no predetermined topic, no series, no, kind of guidelines to abide by, no fancy editing, just kind of sit down, put the camera down, and talk. Um, as you'll tell, or as you can tell, we're in a new place. It's very weird. It's probably quite messy. Like on the camera, it's probably going to be like quite messy because obviously this is not my place. This is my mum's office. This is where she does all her work over there. But this chair is really cool, so I was like, why not put the camera down here and record here because it's kind of comfy. And also recording in my room here is actually kind of tough because everybody makes lots of noise because nobody's considerate of the YouTube channel that I'm running. But yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I actually, funnily enough, recorded a podcast the other day, and I wanted to put video in it, and the video just wasn't there. So that would have been like one of these kinds of videos or one of these kinds of episodes, but there was no video, so it was just kind of chalked. But yeah, the reason that I'm doing one of these is because I realized that I really enjoy doing them. Like when I first started the YouTube, like had no plans to do like cool editing. I had no plans to learn like how to do transitions and put B-roll and do all of that like cool stuff that I did in the last one. Um and it's not that I don't enjoy doing that like at all, because I really do. Like I spent probably like 6-7 hours, no pun intended, no 6-7 pun right there. Um I've already spent like 6 or 7 hours on that last video, like just learning, because I had to learn how to use DaVinci Resolve because it's brand new to me. Um and it was so fun. Like I found editing for like 6 or 7 hours for an 11-minute video really fun. So it's not that I'm going to stop doing that. It's not that I don't enjoy doing that, but I kind of just had I don't know how to describe it. Not like an epiphany, because I've had it before, but like a full circle moment where I realized why I started doing the YouTube in the first place, which was because I enjoyed talking and I enjoyed expressing my thoughts and feelings in like a non or an informal setting. And it was particularly useful when I was in like not so good moods or when I had just overcome certain challenges. I found talking about them to be really useful, not just for me to be able to talk about the things that I just did or went through. I don't like went through because it makes it sound like it's bad, but you kind of get what I mean. But also because it's then valuable for people who have been, are going through, or in the future will go through certain situations or similar situations. So like um when the basketball season ended and I was feeling a certain way about it, making a video about that, like not losing basketball, but like having to leave like a big part of your life, would have been a really cool thing to do. And I kind of just missed it. If that makes sense. Like I kind of just missed the opportunity to do what I wanted to do with YouTube in the first place. And like I had ideas for it. I mean, I'm currently writing, and I'll get into the writing in a little bit, but I'm currently writing like a script for that kind of video. But I wanted to, because I was so like caught up in the whole, oh, it's got to look good, it's got to have nice edits, blah blah blah. Like I'm writing the script for it, or writing my story with basketball. Um, but I didn't record the video, or I have not yet recorded the video, because I was like, oh, here I'm going to put in this transition and that transition. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to make stuff fancy and wanting your videos to like blow up. But that's not why I started YouTube. So I don't know if I'll scrap it. I don't think I'll scrap it. Maybe it'll still be fun to do, but I definitely wanted to like sit down and have this kind of video because it's been a really long time since I've not had to edit a video properly. Like this video, I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to, I mean, unless like, I don't know, I smash something, I have to clean it up. Like I'm not going to be cutting or doing any of that cool fancy stuff, um because I want it to be authentic. Like I want it to be me. I want it to be relatable. And the thing is, like, I realize that people don't come to YouTube to watch, I don't know how long this will be, like 30, 40, maybe even 50 minutes. Like they don't come to YouTube to watch videos of that length, and videos about what I end up talking about in this video. But there might be like two people that do, and I've always thought that creating good stuff for those two people is better than creating like average content or like just another video that thousands of people watch in their 6 hour YouTube sitting. You know, I would prefer it if two people went on YouTube to watch this video and then left YouTube than my video just be one that pops up on everybody's recommended just before they go watch another one. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's essentially why I want to make this kind of video. And it's like I've been in a weird limbo with the YouTube because I've been so fixated on what I want to do after uni because it's becoming like it's imminent, right? It's now April and my degree ends at the end of August. So I have like 4 months really to be like, well, this is what I'm going to do in my life. So I transitioned the YouTube from being like something I just sit down, like I said, and just talk about things I'm going through or things that I want to talk about to, hey, let me do this series so it can like act as a portfolio for future employers, or it can act as work experience for, you know, a media job that I have in the future. And I'm not going to stop that. Like I'm still going to complete the Is There Still Hope for Gen Z series, but that doesn't mean that I can't still do these videos because this takes like an hour to do. You know, you record it, it takes 30-40 minutes to just sit and speak, and it takes 20 minutes to edit. There's no reason why I can't do this in, you know, in the midst of all of the other stuff that I want to do. And I think it's interesting that this is happening now because there's like obviously a direct reason for why these kinds of videos and the podcasts have been like put on the back burner. And I think it's because I have like an underlying anxiety about the future because I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't have a grad scheme. I'm not applying for grad jobs. I'm not doing all of the things that would like give you peace of mind. You know, I'm not on a course where like you're directly funneled into like a job. Like I'm not doing medicine because when you do medicine, like you're gonna have X, Y, Z opportunities, or like sports rehab or physio where you're gonna like go somewhere, right? Or maybe like one of like a few of my friends do like accounting and finance, where they go on placement with places that will inevitably offer them jobs, like they offer most like the students jobs afterwards. I don't have any of that, so I'm sitting here like, well, if I don't have that, then I need to create something for myself. And because I don't want to just sit and apply for all the jobs everybody else is, I'm going to do something creative and different, which is like perfectly fine and actually like probably quite a good idea in the grand scheme of things with what I want to do. But it does kind of take away from the authenticity. So, like the last video, for example, the one on feminism, that's 11 minutes long, and probably like 3 minutes of it are like TikToks that I've put in. So I'm probably speaking in there for like seven, like on the actual topic, probably like 7 minutes, when really I probably had like 40 minutes of things to say. I'm like, I've got to condense it so it can perform well. And the funny thing about that video, right, is that I totally blundered. Let me take a sip real quick, but I totally blundered because there was a TikTok in there that had a song. I don't know what song, like Sorry About That, I think. And I don't know what YouTube has done since, right? But because of the TikTok was like 25, 30 seconds long, it took the music as like being the focal point of the video. Even though the video is like 11 minutes long and that's like 25 seconds, it took that as being the focal point. So when I'm uploading, YouTube are like, oh, hey, this might get restricted for copyright, but it might not. Thus far, like we've not seen any reason to restrict it. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. I'll just leave it in. Like I don't need to like mute it or anything like that. So then I post it and I'm like, obviously, like maybe I'm actually just I don't know what the word is. Maybe I expected too much from the video because I thought it was going to do really, really well because the editing was so much better than anything I'd ever done before. Like I had lots of transitions, I had like different scenes, I had B-roll, I had lots of stuff. I was like, wow, this is gonna do really good. I even like the thumbnail was better than like my other thumbnails and everything. So I was like, okay, this is gonna do really good. It's probably gonna be my best performing video. And after like a day, it had like 15 views, which on this channel anything less than 100 views is like is normal. So it's not like I was expecting to get like thousands and thousands of views, but 15 after a day or two is like pretty low, because most of the time I'll just get views from people just clicking on my story and just like going on there anyway. So then I realized that that was it. Like that was the only engagement that it was getting. Then I looked at my channel content, like my dashboard, and YouTube had restricted it. And I was like, oh, right. So it says here no restrictions, but when I click on it, it's saying that like it's a music thing, and this like I guess it was being pushed out as music as opposed to a YouTube video. So like it's not done very well. And then when I was like scrolling through, so I've just come back from holiday, like a mini holiday. I went to Ireland, and I had a look when I got back, and it was still the same. Like it probably gained like 3 or 4 views in the 4 days that I've been gone. So then I realized, I was like, you put all that time into something that like you wanted to do. Don't get me wrong, like you wanted to do that, but it's not the reason you did YouTube, right? You've got videos where you've literally just sat down and done absolutely nothing other than sit and speak. And those videos have done far better than this one that you basically like hedged all your bets on, essentially. And we're expecting to like propel you a certain direction. And it hasn't. So why don't you just do the things that you're good at? Right? Why don't you just do the things that have gained your results and also like made you feel like good about things that you're doing? Not that that made me feel bad, but obviously I could have what's the word? I could have done more in terms of just how I felt about the video. And it's interesting because there's like a fine line there between doing what you want to do and doing what's right or not right, or doing what's, most beneficial to you. Because you could be one of those people that's like, I'm only going to do stuff that's good for me. I'm only going to do stuff that makes me feel good. But at a certain point, you got to get a job, bro. You know, you got to have responsibilities, and you have to put that idea that, what you want to do is like the most important thing. You kind of have to put that in the back or on the back burner, or make it like a secondary or tertiary priority, because you have more important things. And that's kind of how I saw it, is that I'm going to find a way to do something that's going to serve me long term. So maybe this video blows up and my channel does really good. So it serves me long term, but it also serves me like, short term. Like I enjoyed making the video, I enjoyed speaking about the things I spoke about and the editing and whatnot. But that was kind of secondary, that was secondary, tertiary. That was behind the main goal of the video doing well. And like I said, there's a fine line there, because like you actually can't just go around your whole life just doing what's best for you, because it's not always going to give you what you need, right? It's not going to give you, money. It's not going to give you safety, security, comfort, shelter. It's not going to give you that stuff all the time. Like it's not always going to align. But in this sense, like that video not doing so well, maybe it's because of the restriction, and maybe it would have done really well if it hadn't. But it kind of made me realize that the line between what I want to do and what's good for me is so blurred, because the videos, like some of the videos that have done really not really well, but the best performing videos have literally been me just sitting and talking. So I'm now at a point where maybe it is actually just best for me to just sit and talk. Even the fancy stuff that gets lots of people lots of views, maybe that's not my niche, maybe that's not what I'm good at, and maybe the editing was not nearly as good as I thought. you know and as I said, I was going to get onto the writing. I wrote a Substack piece. I know I've been promoting my Substack in the last few videos. I wrote a Substack piece probably like 2 weeks ago about doing what you're good at. And it's interesting that now I'm talking about Substack, because I will get back to that piece I just mentioned. But in March, I was like, I don't know, the first like week or so, week and a half of March was like, I just wasn't doing well. So I was like, how do I take that feeling and take that situation or circumstance and make it productive? And I decided that for the rest of March, I was going to write a Substack article every single day, so I could learn a lot about writing. It kind of gave me a purpose, and it gave me an avenue to talk about my feelings and my thoughts, because this is what I was saying on my podcast. Because I know some of you don't listen to that, and I feel like it's still like relevant and valuable here. Is that um YouTube videos are like, it's tough to talk about everything that you want to talk about, because it's not that it's got to be entertaining. It's not like you're performing for people, but speaking about certain situations and certain things that happen in your life, it's quite difficult to do that in a YouTube video. Whereas it's not so difficult to do that in like a written article or a piece, at least for me, right? I can write a Substack article which goes into the nitty gritty of like the deepest parts of my life, and it doesn't feel like I'm oversharing. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm, you know, wasting my time or like putting energy somewhere where it shouldn't be. So I knew that I couldn't make YouTube videos about the way that I was feeling or the circumstances that I had. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a lot. And I did it for like, so it's probably like 8th, 9th of March, maybe, that I decided to start doing it. So I would have had 20 days of just writing every single day. And it was actually inspired by one of my friends at basketball, Alex, works at this like website agency, like web design agency. And his friend who like runs it was doing like learning something about business every day for 30 days. And when I saw that, it was probably like day 8 or 9. And I was like, yo, that's really cool. I'd like to do something similar. And he like documented it, like he made it a series. And I was like, I'm not in the right state to make it a series. Like, I wouldn't be able to talk about the things that I was writing about every single day because I didn't feel comfortable. Like I just said, like I didn't feel like it was fit for YouTube. Um, but anyway, I started doing it, and probably for like 2 weeks, like I had it down. Like I was doing it every single day, and it was like really fulfilling. Like, I was learning so much about myself basically every day, because I was forcing myself to write and to think. And like, this channel is called Reasoning with Rao, and like I was doing hella reasoning. Like, I was thinking so much about so many different things, and there are even topics that I had written down. So long story short, I didn't do it for every single day for the rest of March, because right at the end of March was varsity, and it was my last ever basketball game. And in the couple days leading up, like I was actually just super jittery. Like, I wasn't nervous about the game. Like, I was nervous about it being my last game, and like I just like, I actually couldn't think, so it was really bad. And then the game ended, or like we played the game, and I didn't feel like capable. Like, I felt so volatile emotionally that I just couldn't write. Um, so that's why I focused on making the YouTube video. So I put that out in the meantime and made a podcast episode, because I was like, I need to do something, but I can't write because like I'm actually far too volatile to write about it. Like, the only thing I could think about was the game and the experience of it, but I didn't feel like I was ready to write about it. So I was like, I can't write about anything else. So for the last week of March, I didn't write. But circling back to what I wanted to talk about, I wrote a piece about doing what you're good at, because there was a day that, I think it was when I was video editing, right? I wrote one about video editing being really hard, and then the next day's one was about doing stuff that you're good at, because I realized while I was editing that I'm not good at it, right? In the end, like, it was a pretty decent like piece of work, but it took me a really long time, and I was like very confused for a lot of it. And I realized that there are certain things that I'm like not good at. There are certain things that like I can try to do and it doesn't come naturally to me. Like drawing, for example. Like, I made the video about like learning to draw with no experience. I'm really bad at drawing, and I'm a big efficiency head. Like, I care a lot about efficiency. Like, even in the smallest and smallest of ways. Like, when I was coming out here to the office to come and like set things up to start recording, I was like, well, if I put the kettle on as I come out, then when I go back in to get my iPad, the kettle will be boiled, so then I can make my coffee, and I can put my water bottle in my hoodie pocket so that I have an extra like bit of real estate to carry things. So like, efficiency for some reason is like, it might be OCD, but it's just like hardwired in my brain to like try and be as efficient as possible with everything. And sometimes I'm actually inefficient with it because I spend so much time thinking how to be efficient that then I've just like I could have done everything in the slowest way possible and it still would have been quicker. But anyway, I'm a big efficiency head. So when I realized that video editing was just not like it didn't come naturally to me and I wasn't very good at it, I thought maybe I should just stick to what I'm good at. You know, maybe I should just stick to sticking the camera down and talking because I have the thoughts, like I have the way to articulate what I'm thinking, and I have the way to like, or I have the ability to come up with a bunch of things. Like when I was writing, there were certain things I wanted to write about, yes, but like I said, I didn't even write about all of them because each day I just have a brand new idea that I would write a, I don't know, 800-word essay about or 1,000-word essay about in about half an hour. And like while I started doing that, I realized that there are certain things that I'm good at and maybe I should just do them, right? Maybe I should just stick to that because that's what I'm about. Oh, my mother is here. My mother has come to her office. Hello, mum. I'm recording a video. Yeah, how are you? Cool. um anyway, as I was saying, there are certain things that I'm good at that are like it's efficient for me to just do them. Like it's efficient for me to just sit down here and make a YouTube video because for me, if I was to try and make a 10-minute video about the next thing that I'm going to do in my Gen Z series, which is toxic masculinity, right? It would be inefficient for me to spend lots of time doing video editing and thumbnail creating if I could do the exact same thing just sitting and talking about it and it would perform just as well. So I had this whole thing about like doing what you're good at and finding something that you're good at because not only is it efficient for you to just do what you're good at, it's also very fulfilling. Like I feel amazing when I come out of these sessions where I sit and just talk for 40 minutes and like it might not go anywhere. Like this YouTube channel might not blow up because like I said, like YouTube is not built for this kind of content or it's not tailored to this kind of content, especially nowadays with the kinds of things people want to watch. But regardless of that, I feel fulfilled. And I guess that's what I was talking about at the beginning, like the reasons why I started this channel in the first place. So there are things that you will be naturally good at that you should like make effort to do often. So another one of those things for me is running, right? Like I mean, I'm not like naturally gifted at running, but I'm naturally like quite fit, like endurance wise. So when I go and do a 8K, 10K, 5K, or a quick 3K, like I feel really fulfilled because I'm like quite good at it, right? So there will be things that come naturally to you. Like you don't have to put in tons and tons of effort to be really good at it. And I think that people should try as hard as they can to do them because when you're in a rut, when you're not feeling very good, being able to just quickly go and do something that like makes you feel good is really valuable. Like when when I was training for the half marathon, like there's no chance that you're gonna have a good day every single day in a summer when you have nothing to do really. So there'll be days where I felt terrible, like I was sad or I was angry or I was, you know, frustrated with something and being able to just go do something that I'm good at. Just go run. Just go get out and just, you know, the weather doesn't have to be good. You don't have to listen to the best music, but just doing something that you're good at makes you feel good, right? And it's the same with these videos. Like today, I woke up at 3 o'clock today because like our flight was at 6:25 a.m., right? But we were planning to leave at like 4 a.m. And my boy Ifyok, who I went with, who's like my second cousin, that's why we went to go meet to visit our family, right? He set alarms for 3. So I wake up and it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, goodness me, like why on earth am I up this early? But I couldn't go back to sleep. Like it was chalk to me. So I got up at 3 and the flight's at 6 and everything's on time. There's no delays or anything like that. But then I get to Stansted and because there's no delays, my train is in like 2 hours time. So I'm like, damn, like what can I do? So I get on the earlier train, but I have to change 3 times. And it's like, wow, this is such a long journey. Like it's actually been 9 hours since I woke up and I'm still not home. So I get back and it's literally like it's like 1 o'clock and my sister gets back and then she starts arguing with me about flipping petrol and flipping car because last time I know I'm going off on the tangent, but this is what the video is for, isn't it? She's put petrol in the car like £25 worth and I gave her money towards it and I get it back and it's all gone. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna go fill up the car. Like, how much are you gonna put towards it? I'm like, brother, you just used all of it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why am I adding when you're so anyway, like I'm just pissed off. Like I'm actually mad because I just had an argument about something with somebody who actually is not listening to me. So I'm actually just annoyed and I haven't slept at all. I've slept like 2 hours and I'm now very annoyed and very like tired. So being able to just come in here and just sit down and talk, and like I can already tell like I'm smiling, I'm in a much better mood because I'm just doing something that it's not even so much that I'm good at it. It's just that I enjoy it. You know, I guess that might be like a product of or a result or a consequence of being good at it is that like, when you're good at something, you feel good. Because imagine I came in here and I was stuttering every 2 seconds. I mean, I do stutter a little bit, but if I was stuttering every 2 seconds and I couldn't form sentences, then yeah, I probably wouldn't feel very good. But the fact that I can just come in here and it kind of resets my mind, it kind of gives me some purpose, I guess. Because as much as, like I said, this is for me to just be able to do something that makes me fulfilled. Like I also do see the value in people talking about things that can also help other people, and that's literally the whole reason I started this channel. I would watch some people on YouTube just talk about their life, and I'm like, damn, that helped me in this, and this way. I should probably do the same because I have like the ability to articulate and get things across. So yeah, if you have a thing, like if you've got something that you're just naturally decent at, you don't have to be fantastic. Like when I first started doing these videos, I was actually bad. Like I wasn't good. Like I didn't really know what I was doing because even something you're naturally decent at, like you're not good at it if you've not done it before, right? So if you've got something that you're naturally like pretty alright at, but you don't do it very often, at the start you're probably gonna suck. Like you're probably gonna be a bit like it's gonna be frustrating because like I'm supposed to be good at this, but I'm not. But it will come to you because you're already naturally decent. Like being decent at something and never doing it before in your life is an achievement. Like you should be proud of yourself for that. So if you have that thing already and you know what it is, then perfect. Just continue doing that because I'm telling you, it's gonna get you out of some situations. It's gonna get you out of some mental states that are not good. You could be going through it like for real. Like my podcast episode, I mean, if you wanted to get into the nitty gritty of why I've not been making this kind of video and why it's been so difficult for me to like even do 20 straight days of writing. I mean, that's actually kind of tough to do. So like I shouldn't beat myself up about not being able to complete it. But if you really wanted to like know the ins and outs, I kind of go into it more deep over there. But when you're going through it and you just got something that you can just do and it just makes you feel good, that's invaluable. You can't really overstate how important that is to your life because it can literally take, like, I'm going to be completely honest, right? At the start of this month, well, not this month because it's April now. At the start of May, I would never have like I thought that I was going to be feeling how I was feeling for the next 6 months. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to actually recover from what's going on right now. And just being able to go to the little things that I'm decent at, like just naturally all right at, like writing and making videos and doing the podcast and running and going to basketball, like those little things that just give you like quick bursts of joy, not like quick bursts of joy like going on TikTok and getting dopamine rush because like you're not like it's not fulfilling because you're not good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not completing anything. It's like if you go complete a 5K run, you go complete an essay, you go complete a YouTube video, that makes you feel good in a way that like going on TikTok doesn't. So the fact that I was able to tap into that and like continue doing those things basically sped up my process of getting over what was going on. And now like trust me, I'm not good. Like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so fine, like everything's perfect. No, not at all. But a month ago or even 3 weeks ago, I did not think I would even be like this for another 6 months. So seriously, doing what you're good at is like I said, it's invaluable. And maybe I'll even title the video this because like I didn't have a script. I didn't have an idea of what I was going to talk about. I just wanted to put the camera on and begin speaking because there was a lot to say because I've not done a video like this in a while. But I feel like that is probably the strongest message that I can send from this video is that you just got to do what you're good at. Like, you probably know a couple things that you're just decently good at, whether that's running, writing, football, videos, editing, all of that stuff, right? And some of you might not know. You might not know what you're good at, but you really should try and find it. You should try lots of different things. And I guess that's why like I've been able to find that is because over the last probably year or so, year or 2 years, like I started saying yes to basically everything, like to different opportunities, to like the chance to do certain things. Like I was a big fat homebody. Like COVID told me that being an inside guy was fine. Like everybody says COVID was terrible because they weren't able to go and do anything. I thought COVID was like the best period ever because it gave me validation for being an inside person, for being a homebody. It was like nobody can tell me that what I'm doing is wrong because I have to do it. So I missed out on tons of opportunities in the years following lockdown, a couple of years following lockdown, because I'd just say no. I'd be like, yo, I just don't want to go. I just don't want to go. Right? You can't force me to go. I don't want to go, so I'm not going. And over the last year and a bit, I've started saying yes to just so much stuff, even stuff that doesn't make sense to do. Like the last 4 weeks of uni before I came back, I went to the club every week. And I'm 21, right? I should not be going to the club every week. But we had our final ever league game. I was like, well, I'm going to go because, why not? There's something to do. I'm with my friends. I've got a reason to go. The next week was like the big Bucks Wednesday. It was like everybody was going out. So I was like, flip it. Why not? Let's just go. The next week we had a social. And then the week after was like the last ever game, right? So I went and I would normally do a bunch of overthinking, like what's efficient, like what should I do with my money, like what's the right thing to. Sometimes you just gotta go and do stuff because you will find that you're good at things by doing the most random things that are not even like related. Like I was in Dublin, like I said, I just got back from being in well, I didn't say I was in Ireland, but I was in Dublin, right? I was in the club and my boy Ifyok was like, he was talking to someone, right? He was talking to some babes, right? And while I was in there, obviously now I'm on my ones, so I'm in the club on my ones, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like people who go to the club on their own are actually weirdos. But now I kind of have a bit more respect for them because I'm literally there on my own. Because like, yeah, he's there, but he's not there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go turn around and talk to him, right? And I just like found myself realizing that like it's fine to do things that are conventionally weird if you're okay with them. Like if you're cool with being in the club, like there were these group of girls, right? I couldn't tell because I couldn't tell if they wanted to talk to me or if they were looking at me like I was a weirdo, right? Because if it was there, he said afterwards, "Oh, did you go like? Could you tell those girls are like trying to like move to you?" I was like, "Nah, bro. They were literally looking at me like I'm a weirdo." But every time they would look at me, I would like laugh inside because I would realize that they like it felt like they were judging me for like me being on my own, but I was totally content with it. And then like it clicked in my mind that that kind of that fear of embarrassment is really just like it's a choice. Like it's a difficult choice because most of the time you choose that embarrassment is real, but it's really a choice. And that's basically what inspired this video because like after the night, I literally like even on the night, I got my phone out and started typing in my notes, learning things about myself in the most random situations. Like I learned something about myself or about life from going to the club and drinking. That doesn't make sense. Like it does. Like if you want to learn things about yourself, you would never be told, "Hey, go to the club." But this opportunity or this, saying yes to going out gave me a completely unique and random opportunity to learn something about myself, because I wrote an entire list of things that I learned that night. You know, there are so many little bits that I learned from the interactions I had with people. Because in the end, I ended up like talking to that group of people, and it ended up being cool. But in the period before, like I had spoken to them and like we were dancing and singing the songs or whatever, I truly felt like, you know, there was a like a judgment going on, which allowed me to realize that I didn't care. And normally I always care. Like I'm very big on not trying to be perfect, but like being aware of my image, or not my image, but like being aware of what I look like. Do you know what I mean? Like being aware that, oh, I'm the guy currently in the club that's on his own, like just dancing, right? So the fact that I did not care, like it was like I don't really feel like that often. So I was able to learn that from saying yes to a bunch of opportunities. So if you're finding that you don't know what you're good at, you're like, I don't have any skills, like I don't have something I'm naturally good at. I promise you, you do. There's something that you're good at. You just haven't found it yet. And it might be because you're isolating yourself, you're like not saying yes to a bunch of things. And it might be that you just haven't had enough time, because you could have listened to that last 2 minute segment and been like, I say yes to everything. Like, I always go out when people ask me, oh, do you want to do this, this, and this? I always say yes. But still, I can't find that thing that I'm good at. Like, still, I don't have my go to when I'm in a bad mood. And it might just be that you don't know what it is yet. It might be that you've not had that unique opportunity to like learn something about yourself. I learned in that situation in the club that I actually have a knack for creating videos where I just talk about my feelings and thoughts. Because in the middle of the club at 2 in the morning with yeah, just banging in my ears, I pulled out my phone and was writing ideas for YouTube videos. Was writing down things about the experiences. But hey, maybe I'm a weirdo for doing that in the middle of the club, right? Drink in a hand, phone in the other, writing my notes, right? But like I had lost that for a little bit. Like I thought that, yeah, I had a knack for making YouTube videos, but look at the style of videos I was making. Like I lost the idea that I was good at just doing this, you know? So maybe you just haven't had that experience, or you haven't had the opportunity to say yes to something that will lead you to knowing what you're good at. And it really is like about giving yourself time. Like during this period of time where I was like, where I thought that for 6 months I was going to be in the same, you know, state, so many people said, hey, you actually just got to give it time. And that's actually tough. It's so tough to just say, oh, I'm just going to sit here for a month or 2 months in this terrible state, and I'm just going to live with that because that's best for me. Because you just want to do something now. You want to change, you want to make, you know, amendments to your life to solve the problem, like to get you out of this rut. And sometimes there's actually nothing you can do. Like it's actually the worst possible thing for you to do is to start doing stuff, to start changing things. And again, like I said, a couple of things like that in the podcast, and I feel like it rings true. Like I just had to wait a little bit to have a certain set of situations or circumstances happen to me that now, like, I feel comfortable enough to make a YouTube video, you know, or comfortable enough to make a podcast, or comfortable enough to get back to writing the script about the basketball game that I was far too volatile to write about, you know. So honestly, there's there's so much more that I could get into, but I feel like I should keep it on some form of topic so that, you know, there's not 8 different things I'm talking about in one YouTube video. But I guess the moral of this story, of my story that I've just given you, is that you should just find your, like, do the thing that you're good at, you know. If it means that you're doing it because it's going to lead you to a job or lead you to money, good for you. If you're doing it because it's going to take you out of a bad mental state, like it did for me, good for you. You know, if you're doing it just because you want something to do to pass the time, good for you. But no matter what, doing the thing that you're good at naturally, that fulfills you, can never be a bad thing. There's never a time where I've sat down to make this kind of YouTube video and I've thought, flip's sake, why would I do that? I've even made videos that have like will never see YouTube, right? Where I've literally been crying on camera because I'm talking about stuff that I feel like I need to talk about and like I need to express these thoughts. And even in those videos, I'm so happy that I sat and recorded it. Like I'm crying on camera, and I'm still happy that I did it. You know, if you're really good at at playing football, you could go to football one day, and you could misplace 10, 15 passes, but you'll still be happy with the fact that you had a good touch. You took the ball past one defender. You did some exercise. There's just so much about getting out of the big fat world, like just the surrounding, just so much stuff going on around you, and just removing yourself from that and entering just a much smaller world where it's just you and the thing that you're good at. You know, after I had the argument with my sister today, all this stuff's going on around me, like, oh, have I done my forms for my camp in America? Have I done I forgot my glasses in Dublin. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get them back? All I need to do is remove myself from that big fat wide world where tons of stuff's going on and just so stimulating, overstimulating. Remove myself from it, sitting here, and now the world is tiny. It's just me and the camera and what's going on up here. And my coffee that I'm having at what's the time? 9 p.m. Brother, I need some energy. But yeah, like I said, that's the moral of this story. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have your thing that you're good at and you engage with it and like give yourself time to do it. And if you haven't found it, you will. You just have to give yourself the opportunity to. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.